All right, namaste in the kitch, my family. Little sneak attack for you. I'm here with my brother, the one, the only, Mr. David Starr. What's up, brother?
Hey, thanks for having me on the show, and love the intro.
Hey, you know what?
Want to
Listen,
go to a disco night now?
I'm just, get your tickets. I'm just hoping to get through copyright. Listen, there's people in Ireland very upset that they can't watch the videos. Okay, everybody calm down. So, no, I mean, how's the energy out there, ladies and gents? We know it's a little roller coaster for all you guys out here in Sedona, and with the plume of juniper in your face. Listen, I've been sneezing for 3 days, but yeah, it's strange. The half the country's frozen in the states, flooding in Washington, and in Arizona, and especially in Sedona, all the trees think it's spring. It froze, and now the sun's out, and it's 65 degrees. The trees think it's springtime. So if you guys have allergies out there, pay attention. If you guys are traveling, make sure you guys have your listen, your ivermectin, your fenbid, you know, your milk thistle, because fenbid's difficult on your liver. And you guys are taking care of yourselves and traveling, okay? And andrographis pantacolata. If you guys don't know about that, that is a natural herb that you can take. It gives you about 10, 12 hours of defense if you guys are going on planes, trains, or automobiles to protect you guys from some of the shenanigans going on while you're traveling so you guys don't get sick out there. But with that, ladies and gents, David, I know we were talking briefly before this started. Like, what do you want to share? I mean, this is called upgrading humanity. So you're like,
Yeah.
I got this. So what are some things? You're like, I got this. No
Yeah.
big deal. Let me rip. So what are some things that you're feeling right now in the collective, or some things that can assist humanity and everyone going through their ascension symptoms?
There's a great purge happening right now. So a lot of people are experiencing a lot of different bodily aches, not sleeping that well, all of this stuff, emotions and traumas, things that we have been neglecting to face within ourselves are coming up to be released, whether it is this life or the past life, and it's happening around the whole planet. Unfortunately, in some cases, it can be severe issues, complicated medically, of course, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who have been awakened on their journey for a long time that continue to release and become brighter in frequency, and they're experiencing very big energy upgrades, and big light structures are being evolved right now. um, and how I was shown, for those who have been following Dolores Cannon, when she talked about this crossover Stargate. The crossover is this event when humanity goes through this like collective ascension and into
Mm,
this new Earth, and some of us are like going through it and on the other side of it and bringing souls and consciousness through it. But what's really cool is how I see it, how it's been shown to me by my teams, is it is merged now, the crossover Stargate with Earth. And so we have this crystalline dimension opened up, pouring crystalline light through. So when you said, upgrading humanity, is there something you can do? Well,
mm,
we can connect. It's so easy to connect into that crossover Stargate. Um, there is a new Merkaba system that's come online. It's a crystalline Merkaba, and you just go into that crystalline Merkaba within self, and you just intend for it to happen through this crossover Stargate and start flowing in the new light spectrum and the crystalline spectrum of new Earth, where everything is going to ascend into. Uh, Eventually, when the collective has reached that tipping point where they're ready to go into new reality completely, love-based reality.
well, listen, that's cute, and I love that. No, I'm just kidding. Listen, I feel like we're yin and yang, David. You're like, listen, everything's fantastic. I'm like, we're slaying demons. I don't give a shit. No, I'm just listening. Everything's
You know
fantastic.
what, I like that is a whole other thing that
No,
like
listen, I told
some
him, ladies
people
and
have
gents,
to some
I
people
told
have
him
to go
this.
through that. There's like light warriors out there,
Yeah,
unfortunately, who have been going through a spiritual Armageddon for about like 2 to 3 years, but
right.
it's gotten like 90% better in my
Yes.
opinion. But there's still some big people are like who have really high light are very specifically being targeted, unfortunately, and you got to battle and cross these things over and get
Right.
to the other side of it. It's not the greatest thing, but it's part of the ascension.
So David, you guys, David has like access to command, and he's like, "Don't worry, you guys financially will be well taken care of. All you light warriors on the planet." He's like, "We got you." No, I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. Actually, he said that. My thing is that for all of us here, it is getting better, David. I can tell you that my dreams are a lot better, and they're actually showing me things that I think I will talk about if you guys remind me on morning coffee on Saturday. I don't want to take up our time here talking about it, but I did get a huge download 2 nights ago about the fallen and how some of those parasitic groups are falling apart at the seams. They made me watch a 6-hour Blu-ray movie in my dream time, letting me know how the hierarchy works and how the whole thing is parasitic and it's falling apart. But that being stated, we'll talk about that on Saturday. I do feel humanity is in the middle of a great shift. I feel
Yeah.
that those that have been doing the work and that are staying in their hearts and staying high vibe, yes, you are going to have an easier time with this transition. And I do feel that some of the older souls here, we have a tendency to get involved in a lot of different, let's just say activities on the surface to support and assist. Okay, to kind of hold the line. But I'm also here to tell you guys that some of you old souls out there, it's also time to take care of yourself and self heal and make sure you're crossing your T's and dotting your I's on what you wish to accomplish and how you wish to feel as we go through this great transition. If you're spending 99% of your energy, doing things that are, okay, just to say outside of your bread box, it's important to realize that you also must take care of thyself, your own health, your wellness, your vitamins, how you take care of yourself. Like you have to make sure your charge and your energy is in that polarity of positivity because you don't want to get dragged down by what some of the younger souls or some of the other polarities on this planet, which there are many and species going through their own ascension. You don't want to get caught up in some other, group's ascension process and you're trying to help them and you realize that, hey, these are younger souls, let's just say, that have not made the same experiences you have. They weren't a part of the Orion Gate Wars. They weren't even in Atlantis when the shit sank. These are all kind of new up and comers that are going through this stuff. They need to go through their own growing process. They need to figure out their own selves and what their decision and what their own free will shall be. And as we kind of go down that road, to pay attention to the most positive things that you can say and why we're here and what we're really fighting for, which is peace, sovereignty, freedom, and love for all of our friends and family, so that future generations don't have to go through some of this BS that we've gone through. It's really simple. We don't want to repeat this grade moving forward. How do you feel about that, David?
This is why we're here. All of these battles, all of these upgrades, this interdimensional traveling, connecting to our guides, raising our consciousness. All these things we have been doing have been raising our frequency up. And then the slingshot effect happens because we're all connected. So the collective that just did not want to wake up, well, too bad. We've slingshot you right up because we're pushing to the max. We're getting rid of all of these negative ETs, demonic energies, and we're bringing it all to the light, and we're breaking it all down, and we're making Earth a sovereign planet, so that our families and our children's children's can have peace and frequency. For the longest time, there was factions in Antarctica that were using a very large AI interface to augment reality into your homes, and they were harvesting energy, soul light, all these different things. But these things had to be broken down, and it took the greatest warriors in eternity to come to Earth and incarnate now, which is likely almost everybody who's watching, to get it to this point of freedom, so that we can have peace in our consciousness, peace in our energy, and properly evolve. That's why Earth was stuck inside of this 3D matrix, because these beings, not only were they manipulating and controlling and taking energy, but at one point they had an artificial source layer to block people from connecting up, like this lower fourth dimensional plasmic layer, which was impossible for people to even reach some of these higher levels within. That had to get broken down. That had to get cleared out, and all of these things. But because we're going to advance so greatly now in consciousness. It's going to be free and easier for people to open up. Who would want to wake up when that existed, when that crazy demonic program was running? And so by clearing all of that out, now there's some hearts out there that, like, especially like you're saying, these new guys, these new souls on the block, they're like, hey, I'm staying out of this war. You guys clear up the mess, then I'm going to awaken, and then I will evolve. But I don't want to open up and all of a sudden, bam, I'm getting targeted. And
Right.
So
It's great.
We had to clear the way. We had to clear the
It's a lot of fun. You know what I mean? Us fellow battle tanks out there in whatever district or country you're in. You know what I mean? You're going into the grocery store, 9 out of 10 people are NPCs and you're wondering why your workload's so hard. You know what I mean? We're right there with you. But this is what I can say for all the new Palladians who are incarnating right now, all the kids that are coming in right now, salute you. And yes, your older brothers and sisters, your parents' generation will have this place cleaned up for you. By the time you're our age, like I said, it's a wrap. There's a ton of Palladian souls coming in right now, Arcturian souls coming in right now. These kids that are coming in right now, you may be a parent right now and have one of these kids. These are like just crystalline, just emerald children. I mean, they really are
there's
special.
Even golden source coming in. Golden source children is the coolest thing, like full-on masters incarnating right now from golden source. All the highest dimensions, they started pouring in somewhere like around a year and a half ago or so.
Yep.
And like it was just flooding in, the rainbow children, and 12D, 9D, 10D, you name it, and they were coming through the universal tree, life portal, guardian of this universal structure, and they're flooding into the be incarnated, and they are lifting up. This one true story, actually, it was really cool. A couple of years ago, my guides, they said, hey, you got to come, you got to see this, come check this out. And I'm tuning in, and there's these masters, and they're sitting around this woman giving a child, having birth, not in a hospital. She was somewhere like at home or something like that. And they're excited, they're celebrating, there's some angels around. And I'm like, well, what's going on? And they said, this is the first pure 7D crystalline baby on Earth that was born since Atlantis. And this child is going to just unlock all of these portals, all of these frequencies as soon as she comes into the planet, and it's just going to lift up the whole collective. And there was this huge celebration. And I was in awe. I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole birth. I watched the baby coming then into the mom's arms, and this beautiful purest of light around her. And yeah, these children right now, they're special. And that's one of the reasons that motivated me to actually write a book called Magic Heart Power, to bring in that more of that heart energy
yes,
to the kids.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, listen, David, me and you are kind of like the older kids. We're like the rough and tough. I swear, I feel like TeamLight's like the Bad News Bears. You guys are like the original 80s movie, not the remake. Why do I say that? It's because it took some of the strongest warriors in the universe from different dimensions and areas and that we came in and we herald from to actually get this place ready for these kids. And one of my MOs is, and why I'm so driven is like why I want to build the cities of light are literally across the planet, by the way. When this financial influx comes, the reason why is because I wanted to create a safe harbor for these souls where they never know, it's almost like this is a funny movie reference. You guys remember the movie Twins? Where like Arnold Schwarzenegger's like grown, he's like raised on an island and he's all like awesome. And then there's like Danny DeVito.
Yeah. It's classic.
I don't know why this is so funny, but listen, for all the Danny DeVitos out there, God dang it, raised in these major cities, and you like meet your brother, he's like, hi, I'm Hans. I was raised on an island. I kind of feel like a lot of these angelic spirits are like Schwarzenegger and Twins. They're like, why is everyone fighting? This is so awkward. Mind you, you're like emotional, like you're just buff and rad, and you're like, why are they fighting over weird things? So for all of us that got stuck in the Danny DeVito dimension while these kids came in, you're welcome. First and foremost, You're welcome.
Oh
That's
my
the first
god,
thing I need you to hear
that's
out of
got
your
to be the
mouth.
funniest
You're
analogy I've
welcome.
ever heard.
Yeah, for all these kids here that are just like, yeah. I mean, I got so used to this being astral attacked, I thought it was a part of my ascension. I'm like, oh, doesn't everyone fight for 6 hours when they close their eyes? They're like, no, that's not normal. I'm like, oh, I feel like I'm one of the guys in Sparta, when they got the shields and they're just laughing as the arrows are hitting. They're like, what's so funny? They're like, fight in the shade. Like, you have to be crazy to come down here
Oh
and
yeah,
balance this planet, bro. It's not a normal dude. That's why all your higher selves, they're like, you're doing great, and they're giving you positive reinforcement. It's because they know how difficult it is down here. This
yeah.
is the school of hard knocks on like steroids. So I just want to be real. Like, for all of us that are holding space for these kids, that's why we do it. Go ahead. I mean, that's really what we're doing here. It's for the future generations of Earth.
Yeah, it's and everything that seems to be like an attack. As much as it sucks, there's usually a blessing in it somewhere. For one, we're getting rid of the junk energy off the planet, but you learn how to clear the other junk energy. That's the biggest plus. You learn how they work, so you can release and clear like the really tough ones. And one of the coolest, craziest things was, I mean, way more difficult than archons. Archons are really easy once you get to clear them. They're not hard at all. But one of the most difficult ones was these like predator type of beings, and like they're like impossible. They're like literally the first creation of physicality from the dark beings and stuff. And uh, I was not looking forward to ever meeting one. I'd never wanted to meet them. I saw them in the Akashic records. They're like on a seek and destroy mission, and I'm like, holy shit! I hope I never meet these things. Like, and but luckily one night I was blessed. One came in to try to take me down, and oh man, I literally brought my consciousness into a crystalline source portal and started working. Then I trapped him into that, and I started releasing him. Um, and I got him from like this dark energy, right, into this like gray energy. It took me 3 days to do it, and I'm beat tired. I'm working on it day and night. Hardest thing I ever had to cross over. Um, and then I do the salt ritual bath, and I discover how to connect the Trinity portal through the heart, higher heart, and sacred heart centers. And as soon as I shot my sacred heart portal up to, like, if you want to call it the Mother, Father, that in the heavens, and it was like the Trinity pillar. I discovered through like I am looking for an answer in this one that I could not cross this thing over. And as soon as I connected it, all of a sudden this white light came and grabbed the gray energy, took it away, and I was like, yes. But that Trinity pillar, it's just like if you can sense and feel, I'll just ask the Father Mother to send it into everybody who's watching right now. That Trinity pillar is just full of pure love frequency. You can feel and sense that, and so it really helped further on, above having to clear that entity. And so like these entities and everything, sometimes there's these underlining blessings. And with the archons, it was just the heart. The first one's the hardest, and once you figure it
Mhm,
out, then when you come across them, you know how they cordon
mhm,
to start siphoning energy. You know how to grab them. You know how to clear their feminine and masculine, the souls that they have trapped within them. Then you know how
mhm,
to cross them into the source and stuff. And so
mhm,
why that's good is because they were really difficult for a lot of people. And the
mhm.
less that we had on the planet, the brighter and easier it is for everybody. And now we're like, in my opinion, I would say we're at a solid like 85% of this really tough, difficult stuff is gone. And one of the new things I've noticed lately is these energies that are coming from a water consciousness, that it seems like some ET beings or something put in some kind of consciousness in the water realm that is porting through dimensions, and there's these weird kind of like aquatic like energies that are not of love. And so um how I've been clearing them in case you come across them
Mhm.
is I just intend to connect to the water of creation and breathe it in and start bringing in water of creation codes into the lower water dimensions that seems to be inserted here. And that's been taking care of them and getting rid of them. That's but yeah, so that's what I've seen come in the last like month. It was really strange. It was so
Right.
crazy because the first time I saw it, all of a sudden it comes to this dimension and it's flying towards me, and I'm just looking at it, I'm like, what the heck is that? And then this huge archangel right in front of me, above me, goes like all of a sudden, look, this huge white light, and he just goes boom, and destroys the thing with this white light, and I'm just like, what? And I'm like, what? First of all, what you're right there, like, and then what was that? And so I'm talking to this angel. I'm like, what is that? What the heck just happened here?
Mhm.
What was that? And they're like, some ETs. They injected like a lower consciousness in the water realm itself, and it actually prevents the aquatic. In the seas and everything from coming into the higher light and raising their frequencies. It's like a
Oh,
barrier in the oceans, and so it's actually the next thing I got to work on is just destroying that what was placed in the oceans, and so it's now I understand more about it.
right. I mean, considering that our planet's what, 80% water, almost just like the amount of water in a human being, 75% water. I know when we dropped grids when I was in Bosnia and we did the activation of the sun pyramid over there with Sam. I knew as soon as we dropped grids into the river system, it was on and cracking. We were fighting. As soon as those grids hit the water, same thing when we did Eagle's Nest in Germany. As soon as the grids hit the water, it was a fight. The fight was on. Yes, fight
Yeah,
on, because they know that when you access the water grid, it's instant. It's almost like a gravity A wave. You instantly are sending, water, the speed of water and transmuting water. It's like this. So as soon as you drop a grid in the water, for all you gridders or healers out there, pay attention. As soon as those crystals or whatever you're using hits water, be prepared, be on guard the second you drop that grid in the water. Like, have an exit strategy for you guys are really doing dense areas. As soon as the grid hits the water, it's on and cracking, because you actually can have a direct effect to the mass by utilizing the water.
yeah,
I love your guys.
and I think that thing that lower
Mhm.
consciousness that they place in the water dimension
Mhm.
is protecting all of those underwater bases. Like
Yes.
I think it's kind of like creating like a shield, and so I think once we crack that open, that the remainder of these fleets that are hiding in these underwater bases will be
Mhm.
forced to the higher energies and to get out of the planet to come into like um, the maybe a rehabilitation through the Galactic Alliance, something
Right.
like that, to make it easier because like it's basically at the end for all of these, like what you're saying, you had the dream and everything, and it's
Yeah.
really important to recognize that. And what's happening right now is a coordinated effort between us, our Galactic Alliance, the Heavenly Kingdoms, the angels. Everybody's
Yes.
like supporting this complete sovereignty of Earth, and
Right.
we're pretty far deep in it now, so it's really amazing
Oh
time.
yeah, yeah, bro. We're deep in the gumbo. I
Yeah,
got one hand on the side of the pot, and I'm just in gumbo. I'm like fencing with one hand and holding on to the lid with the other, as there's just a swirl of gumbo down here. As that's the nicest way to say polarized gumbo. A lot of different things running around. No, the reference to what you're saying is I actually see the angelic in you when you're speaking about that. I have kind of a gold team Osiris slash like Jedi version. We call it pop them like popcorn. So when you're saying when you see the high frequency come down and barbecue, dude, our code word is pop them like popcorn. That's what we say. You actually grab the entity and you put so much golden energy into them. It's called going for the center of the Tootsie Pop. So I learned this the first time we activated Cathedral Rock in the very beginning, 2009. I think I was with Tone the first time. And when my third eye came on my 29th birthday, about, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months after that, after I was training in the backyard, opening and closing doors, they had me go out to Cathedral at midnight on the first time I ever came to Sedona. I met Toth, And then I'm seeing my higher self. My third eye was activated, and I'm sitting there. And they go, make a left, make a right. We end up at Cathedral at midnight, and they said, "Hey, you know that one technique you do that we taught you in your backyard?" I'm like, "Yeah, do it right here." And so I opened a portal, and freaking all of these souls were released, but then there were 3 or 4 jackasses that popped out of the hole too. And and then I didn't know what spiritual combat was when I did that. That was the first time. I was just like a young dumb kid from Orange County. No, I'm just kidding. I just didn't know. So we got into scrap. My higher selves got into scrap with a couple of those entities. But what I learned is, and what the reference was, once I used an old Egyptian term, bast, B-A-S-T. I'm not going to say it at full volume in this podcast, but one of my higher selves, my AD Anunnaki, was very Egypt based, let's just say. And when I used that word, he taught me 5 power words to say. And bast was one of them, which means to blast. If you guys don't know, B-A-S-T. So the guy hit me in the gut, dropped me to my knees, and I just went like this, and I just was like, bah! Everything I had. And what happened was I hit him with chi. My higher self grabbed him, and I was cooking the dude. Basically, my higher selves were using me like a 3D ground. Imagine a battery, right? Your higher selves are the positive. You're the ground on the ground. You're the negative, right? So we barbecued this dude, and at the core of it, so when the guy was fighting me, he looked like a Native American, okay, with a tomahawk. He came at me. But as soon as I blasted this dude, it particleized all the shadow off of him. And then there was just like a little gray or an Asani or some sort of small ET looking dude, like in those races. And when my guide was opening the portal above us, because here I am, my big 15-foot dude is going like this behind me, opening doors, and I'm seeing souls shoot from the ground, and they're going through the portals, right? And this little dude goes, I don't want to go where they're going. I want to go home. And he pointed over here, and my guide, a higher self, opened the door, and he went home. But my reference to that was, and what I learned, which is 100% with what you're saying, is that you guys remember those M&M peanuts? Like the center of an M&M peanut, there's like a little peanut of light. Well, imagine when you're blowing energy off of beings, you're blowing the shadows and the distortions off of that core. So imagine removing all the chocolate from the M&M peanut, and at the core, it's a piece of source. Okay.
Yeah,
But I'm
exactly.
trying to, it's a piece of source in the core, and the chocolate's the distortion and how long they've been doing weird shit. So
Yeah.
at the core of all of these beings
Oh
is
yeah.
that source. But sometimes you gotta blast through it. So
That's it.
yeah. I know you have
Yeah.
references. What are some
It's
things?
been
Yeah.
like a soul rescue mission as much as it has been
Yes.
a consciousness liberation mission.
Yes.
And like there was if the, just what I know, trillions upon trillions of souls through cycles have been
Mhm.
liberated. Just what I know, and I know that we're all doing this work and liberating
Yeah.
billions and trillions and like if I had to take a staggering guess, I would guess we probably release a cajillion souls when you take into account every timeline, because you can't look at it like there's 7 billion souls. That's impossible. There can't be a cajillion stuck souls. You have to look at it, how it actually works, that there is no time. And so a soul, for example, as soon as they awaken into their source self, believe in like a higher power basically, and they can actually go backward and forward in time after a
Mhm.
life, and more souls keep flooding in to this infinite number
Mhm.
of timelines. So how many times has this timeline played out before we got it right, and how many souls got stuck, and you take that into
Yes.
consideration with all of the time, it's easily a cajillion souls. And they they have literally, the ones who have been enslaving humanity this whole time, looked
Mhm.
at us like a joke, like we're just okay. Oh, the creator keeps sending in souls, yeah, keep bringing them, we're going to keep trapping them in our grids or in our computers or in whatever, and we're going to keep trapping them, keep bringing them in. Oh, here's another master from the
Right.
Babylonian times, got you too, like, and so it was it's huge what we've done, just unbelievable. Like all these souls got to go back.
Right. And that's what a lot of the gridding and stuff is. And it's like, for example, clearing the dragon lines, clearing the ley lines from, all my friends out there in Ireland right now. Love you. And obviously all my homies out in Australia, New Zealand, in the UK. But we have team members that monitor these lines, these ley lines, these dragon lines. Like that's their job. They're on the land every day monitoring this content and the rivers of consciousness flowing through these ley lines. If you guys want to think about it, Earth's alive. Its consciousness moves like rivers through the ley lines. And then you also have the consciousnesses that move through water, right? So this planet has been utilized by many different ancient civilizations and many different archives of knowledge on this library planet, right? This is a library planet in the diversity of our DNA and what we have down here. And I got to be honest with you, with this 3i Atlas approaching and some of these different motivations and terms for some of these beings that want to show up here, I'm going to keep this positive. David, calm down, because I know you have a different interpretation. Okay. Listen, David, you calm down. You calm down right now, David. Okay.
I'm just going to listen.
He's just ready to drop the hammer. Okay, from Valhalla's Thor. Just everyone listen. Okay. What I'm trying to say is this: if there is a probability of a specific timeline, this golden timeline that we're on, and the probabilities that they watched were before some of us got here. Maybe you viewed the timeline from 100 years ago or 200 years ago. You're like, oh, I've seen this before. And I got to be honest with all my friends and family in these comments and all my friends and family across the planet and everything that's about to go down in Sedona. I got to be real with you. They haven't seen anything yet. And I got, you know what I mean? There's something in me and in my brothers and sisters that whatever these probabilities are, these nerds are trying to tell us on what is in our best interest. They haven't even seen an inkling of the power of source that resides in our souls and what we're truly capable of. Yeah. So any of these beings coming in here telling us, oh, we're going to X, Y, and Z, bro, you will be bagged and tagged and sent back on a ship faster than to make your head spin.
Nothing they can do.
There's nothing you can do when Source's kids get involved in any situation. And I just got to be crystal clear with that. I do not care about any of these narratives other than the prosperity of us coming together, taking our world back and freeing our brothers and sisters from thousands of years of slavery. And I don't care what species are responsible. It's going to be righted. That's how I feel about it.
I've actually, they've shown me like every timeline leads to a peace on Earth. Every single timeline. So there is nothing anybody can do. And they showed me that it was like maybe a year ago or whatever. And it was the most beautiful thing to witness. It was a beautiful day for sure.
I'm fired up. David, you're getting me fired up.
Yeah, well, it's exciting because it's like what we're doing. What we're doing now, like so now we get to go like into all of these higher conscious states, these more expanded, more fully flowing channeling for getting the ancient knowledge. I'm getting dreams now. Right. It's the coolest things of technology that is teleportation, that teleports technology, and I'm seeing it, and I'm seeing the computer setups and the frequency adjusters and all these steps and everything. And so like I think one of the big things that we've done is the subconscious as well, and because for a while there the dreams were getting really goofy. I don't know if you noticed it.
Right.
It was
it was like it was like a nerd AI program came in like this is what we're gonna do, human. Right? I'm like, get this shit out of here, dude.
And then there's this one point where so I wake up and I'm like, okay, so there's no way that ever that my subconscious would ever try to tell me this. There's no way ever that my conscious would ever do this. And so something is infiltrated in my subconscious because I did all of this preparation during this time. I was trying to figure out, I was doing all this preparation to create frequency blockers and everything when I sleep 100%. And then so when I knew it wasn't that, then I knew it was something inside of me. And so then I'm connecting up and I'm talking to the Heavenly Father, and I'm like, what's going on? He goes, you got to go into the subconscious realm and look for a missing cube. And so a lot of the grid workers know there's all these cubes on grid points and everything like that. So I go into the subconscious realm. I see this missing cube, and it's this lower dimensional consciousness is coming in from who knows where, some lower dimension, and infiltrating the subconscious for everybody. And I'm like, what? And so then I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And he's like, well, put a golden cube in there and then cut the dimension off. So we did that, and then all of a sudden the dream stopped getting wonky. And so it was just, there's a lot of different layers that had been infiltrated, and it's going to be great dreams now, though.
Hey! Why don't you hand over some of those golden cubes out here, Bubba? You know what I mean?
You got them here.
You're up in the high.
If
you guys don't know, David's up in like Siberia, for God's sakes. He's in like the top part of like Canada. Like the trees speak to me. I'm down here with reptilians and headlocks, dragging grays and
you know what? I don't actually like admire your position because I know what's out there. I've seen it.
So, I just like I'm in a robe. I'm just in a robe, just dragging things around. I'm just like, oh, it's not like it's gonna affect me, but it's just kind of like, I mean, I had this moment this morning. I was like, they're like, are you okay with this level of like visual? And I was like, you know what, Father? I was like, at this point, I am. And honestly, it doesn't change my heart. It doesn't change what I want to do on this planet. And if anything, which many of my friends and family who are warriors, listen, this is why we're a little different. And I'll tell you the truth about you. Some of us not only grow through conflict, but I can tell you something. If you engage that fire in some of us, the more distortion you throw at us, the stronger we become. We're like the mutants of the universe.
It's so true.
The more we're attacked, the more all of a sudden, what would normally have taken you out 6 months ago or a year ago, like again, you're dealing with it and still drinking your coffee in the morning while you're handling what could have shut you down 6 months ago. There's so many levels and how fast we're adapting to this environment. To remember, some of us solar beings, or some of us beings that herald from the galactic center, the way we got into the game was literally from the top down. We had to hack our way. Imagine like a comet slamming into this density. As that ball of light, your soul came dimension to dimension to dimension to dimension, all the way down to the physical. I had to pick up different versions, or let's just call these outfits, as I slammed through every dimension. 12D, 10D, 8D, 9D, all the dimensions until I got to the physical. Now, here's the deal. Just because I'm wearing some of these shells, distortions, past versions, does that mean that those beings have, like, once you're like sovereign, this is the strongest thing you can ever say to anyone. I'm going to take all of your assets, all of your strengths, and leave the rest. So even on your night side polarity, to think about you actually pulling the energy out of that husk, that is that shadow, and pulling, if we are all one, well, what does that really look like? We're thinking this is a planetary thing. You guys, this is a universal law thing. This is a ultra terrestrial, upper dimensional, oversoul thing going, hey, did you guys have fun? I'd like all my pieces back to be sent back to source. Dad wants you to check in. And that duration of time is so vast compared to a human's lifespan, you can't even conceive of 100,000, 200, 300,000 year test, But at this junction point, I think a lot of us are kind of taking, what happens when you get a bunch of lemons? Hey, you're making lemonade, baby. I just feel like we're down here. Like I'm tired of pointing fingers. I'm just going, hey, I'm going to take the best of what you guys have to offer and go next. I'm going to keep moving up the ascension ladder, regardless of these different species, polarities, energies, belief systems. I'm going to sit there and go, I know that we are all one, and I will remind you, and my brothers and sisters will remind you once again how this universe operates. So a lot of these beings have been allowed to exist, allowed to do negative things. There's something that even the highest levels of the dark side, I'm telling you right now, they understand universal law. They're not dumb. They know what happens when you violate timelines. They know what happens when you involve other beings that are universal beings into a domestic game. They understand the cause and effect. That's why a lot of these species, let's just say the Greys and the Reptilians, not to point fingers at them, okay? or the weird AI shit that's actually plugged into them, making them do naughty things. But there's rules and regulations why you can do it in the gray area where you pretend that beings have free will, like they choose something, compared to forcing them. So there, if we've seen that during COVID, bro, that shit was rolled out across the surface of the planet. So if you don't think they're trying it day and night to have you choose to take yourself out, right? That's a real thing. Free
That's
will is
exactly
real.
what they try to do, right?
Yeah.
And it was a tough thing to see what was going on when they're rolling out that the solution for COVID. I don't know if they're still censoring it, if I can't even say it, but like that is the last thing that I was ever going to do is take that. And then until one day my guides told me, you have to take it. I'm like, no, I'm not taking it. No, you have to take it. I'm like, there's no way I'm taking that. I'm like, no, if you don't take it, you have to take it so you can heal it out of yourself. If you're not going to do this, who is going to do this? And I'm like, I'm sure there'll be somebody who'll do it, but I'm not doing it. And they're like, no, we need you to do this. And after like this, I'm just like, oh my God. And they're like, look, we will wake you up at all hours of the night. We will show you everything, what is inside of this, so you can clear it out of you and then help
Mhm.
clear it out of others.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
so I agreed then. I'm like, oh my God, this is the last thing I wanted to do. But I'm like, okay. But on the little contract they make you sign when you're taking it, free will choice, I said, I do not consent to this. And they allowed me to take it anyways because I'm not signing any contracts and consenting with any of these, like their little
Right. There's
tactics.
already protocols right now
Yeah.
with how to remove the smart proteins out of your blood. I mean, it's publicly known now. There's scientists saying how to get this stuff out.
Yeah.
My main thing is that was the physical thing of it showing up in your face. Because a lot of people are still kind of battling back and forth with these principalities that are fighting over control of the planet and your soul. They still think it's some sort of fanciful thing. It's not fanciful when it shows up in your physical reality as yes or no. So my thing is that this rollout of this consciousness and control, and like I said, people not being about digital IDs. They don't want digital IDs. You know what I mean? They don't want someone to be able to control and lock down their accounts whenever they feel like it. And I get that. But, turning that frown upside down, what I can say is this: I believe our voices have been heard. I have seen in Sedona the amount of dimensional beings around me, and those, I call it like, I don't know if you want to call it like Disneyland tour buses. I have a lot of beings that show up on shuttle in like the fourth dimension or fifth dimension energetically. They don't know that I can see them. All of a sudden, they're in the backyard and they're like walking around my pyramids and they're like looking at me like, is he aware? Can he see me? And then all of a sudden I go, yeah, I see you, jackass. Can I help you? And they're like, oh my God. So, I mean, I've seen flashes from like little ETs holding cameras. I've seen all kinds of shit. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
I know I'm in a zoo. Calm down. Everybody calm down. You know, put your, you want me to pose for you? Sometimes I like flex. I'm like, is that good? Did you get my good side? So what I'm trying to say is that at some point you just kind of let go of the wheel. You're like, Yeshua, dude, is this what you saw when you were down here?
That's
I
a
mean, nobody even talks about that. Was Yeshua's third eye on? You
Oh
know,
yeah. Well,
they
that's why you see in the
everything.
Bible he's just
Yeah,
going around casting out demons.
he just
It's
cast
just
them
like
out demons all the time. You know what
when
I mean?
I was a kid. This is actually a funny story. When I was a kid, I actually read that, and I just thought to myself, "Wow, it was such a crazy time back then. Like it was like the planet was just full of demons, and he just had to casting them out everywhere." I'm just like, "Well, I'm glad he did all that." And then as I got older, I was just like, "Oh, that's just really how the planet is." Okay.
No, but I'm just trying to say, like, I mean, all of these scriptures and things. You got to be honest. Like that Christed version. That's why I always try to stick to the Christed. If you're Christed, you're cool with me. I don't care if you're Buddha, Yeshua, any of the
Yeah.
deities of awesomeness. Christed comes first. Christed being. So, and I think that can play out in any time, age, and direction of time or religion. Is if you're a Christed being, you're here to help humanity grow and once again feel that love from our creator. And it's that simple. It does not have to be a huge 5,000 page documentation that seems like some sort of weird Nephilim soul contract, if you must know, and who owns what and whatnot. Rather, I just feel like the Christed beings coming together. And like I said in my past videos, I kind of feel like we're the Green Lanterns. I know I'm not from this planet. Believe me, when I've grabbed guys and they're like, he's not under Earth law, and I'm like, hi, is this yours? I'm not from here. I think there literally are universal crocodile Dundees walking the earth right now, and some of those people are my friends and family. They're not going to tell you that, nor will you guides tell you. Okay, listen, let's explain this for a second. If you really are a universal crocodile Dundee soul, that source personally asked, hey, can you come down to earth and assist in balancing Terra? Okay, what's the deal? What's the contract? Let's break this down so everyone kind of gets it who actually is a light warrior. Okay. Who's going to know who you are? Well, listen, even the guys that we kind of, have you incarnate through that bloodline, they're not going to know exactly who you are. Why? It'd be a liability. Okay, because they would try to turn you even more so. It's a liability because you're a powerful being. They would try, when you're little, to try to govern you towards the night side or the dark side, right? So what about those that are here to do light? Oh, you'll be attacked from every, as soon as you are awake, they will do everything in their power to keep you asleep. You're like, okay. So, you know what I mean? Like, okay, so that's the norm. They're like, yeah, you guys will, this is how it works though. You guys will sit there, observe, be attacked, and here eventually, you know what it's like on this planet? I don't know if you guys have ever been spanked by your parents when you did something naughty. They're like,
I think you're the last generation that happened.
Listen, at first they start with the sandal, like you're sitting there and you're like, ow, mommy. I don't know, maybe your new kids have never been spanked before, but for our generation, we got our ass spanked, okay? And our parents just got straight beat up. So they're doing great. All right. Yeah. So this is what it's like being on this planet. At first they start off with a sandal. Like, and you're like, oh no, owie. And then as you get a little stronger, you kind of grow up a little bit. And I don't know how old you are now, but I remember this. I was in the garage and my dad hit me with a sandal. And I laughed. I was like, bah! Like I said something like that shit didn't hurt. Right. And he goes, oh, you're laughing. Oh, now let me go ahead and get the belt, right?
I know. I made that mistake one time.
Yeah, you're gonna feel this.
Do not laugh
right?
when getting
spanked. Yeah. Listen, I was like, oh shit. I was like, uh-oh. I felt the belt. So what I'm getting for out there when you guys are waking up, try to keep your cards to yourself. Try to not, be, out there doing or, out there fighting by yourself. Find your family, find your team, get into your heart, get into your meditation, start getting into your soul and go, hey, I'm not from there. Like, we know you were sent here on a very specific mission with the rest of your friends and family over 3 generations. So you're like, oh, what is my protocol for being here? Your protocol is to help observe and free as many of your brothers and sisters out of the slave system as humanly possible. Yeah. Got it. Like if we all knew that when we were 12 or 15 years old, it would be a completely different reality than what we're dealing with now. Like, can you imagine us being 19 again and not having to go through all this bullshit and just listen to one of us go, hey, the reason why you feel different is because you're actually not from here and you guys have a divine mission to help this planet. That would be a lot easier.
The whole purpose of like humanity's genetic engineering was to put in Palladian, Arcturian, Lyran, Syrian DNA into humanity. So in the end times, we could come in on our souls, and those of us who are coming from these higher consciousness galactic roots, which many are here on the planet, the starseeds, it activates the DNA that we placed in way back like Lemurian Atlantean times in humanity, so that because it was humanity, it was known. You see, it's not that there is like been a million years since Lemuria to now, even though in that way of thinking you could think there has been, but there are literally Palladians that were with us before they sealed in the matrix, that they're like, okay, we'll meet you on the other side, because we see the timeline, and they chose this timeline, we chose this timeline, I should say, because it was the time before technology got too far, but it got so advanced enough where we could be worldly and find our soul family, come in, see our faces, do it. Like, this is a huge plan that we had here. And before it took off too far, where it went into like a doomsday scenario with technology and stuff. So we came in at the exact time of the internet, at the exact time of like Facebook and finding soul families and social media at that exact time. They're like, it's not a chance. This was planned. And we came in at this exact time because we knew this would be a time where we could have the greatest unity, come together with all these higher consciousness beings and take on and go through it. And we're not isolated. We're not by ourselves. We're not trying to figure these things out. You know how hard it would have been in time of Christ to do a worldwide ascension? How could he would have to be in all these places at all these times? And like, this is why this is the time. We are in all these places and we're seen and we can see each other, we can connect to each other, find our soul family. And so these Palladians, what they did is they just went through a time hole, and they parked themselves when we were born to watch over us, to guide us in dreams, all of these things for when, like, 2012, and when all these different times that would come, they would be here, they would activate more of our DNA. And there's this whole alliance literally that has been like 20 years, and for them they're living like 1,000 years, 2,000
Yeah.
years. So it's not like what's 20 years to them is nothing, and they're watching us and they've been preparing us. And so when this galactic reunion happens, they're going to come down and you're going to see Palladians first, and likely maybe you might see some other species, but likely Palladians first. And you're going to be looking at them and they're going to be like, that's my mom and dad in the Pallades. And then all of a sudden, they're going to telepathically just open up this, like, and you're just going to know they were there when you came to lock yourself. For those who have stayed since like the Lemurian time, not everybody has, a lot have. And
Yes.
for those who have stayed since that time, you're gonna remember you said goodbye to them a million years ago and had all of these different lifetimes preparing, anchoring in your grids and your energies, so that for the 12th strand awakening, when you're coming into this timeline. And so it's then you're going to go on their ship and they're going to just help you remember all of your lifetimes on Earth and then your origins before Earth. And then you'll be able to go to these other planets, or you'll be able to likely it'll take you to some of your other home planets that you were at before, so you get to experience and connect to what was important to you consciously and come into these higher masteries and energies. And then if you really want to help rebuild Earth at that point, they'll just go through another time hole on the day that you left Earth to go to the Pleiades or these other planets, and come back at the exact moment that you left, and you can rebuild Earth and stuff. And you're living. A lot of us aren't going to die. It's just not going to
No.
happen. So it's
I yeah.
you say
I
2026, what's coming?
yes.
Well, the galactics, they're going to be reaching out a lot, and they are reaching out. They've already started with Joe Rogan, and they're reaching out to stir up the pot of that they are here, that they are connecting, and that people are having positive experiences. Because so far, when you watch Netflix or Amazon and these documentaries, it's all about these negative ETs going around abducting people, chopping off cows' heads and taking trophies and just these weird things. It's like, no, this is like, what is this? This is the stupidest thing. I can't even watch it. And so they got to get that narrative out of our collective consciousness, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of positive ET contact's gonna happen.
I have like 10 jokes going through my head simultaneously, and I don't know where to start, David. I don't know where to begin. Listen, first and foremost, absolutely. And for the king of Electra, you little Engen over there, your daughter made the right decision by babysitting me for 40 plus years. Just letting you know, when I come home to the royal throne, I'm going to be looking at all of you like, oh, yeah, you guys are a big deal. We actually came down, not to toot our own horn for some of us. Another thing, too, is a lot of you guys are going to find out that a lot of these beings, you're going to be their commander. That's going to be weird. Imagine these beings picking you up are like your little brother or your little sister. You're like, are you coming home? And you're like, aren't you in charge? They're like, nah, dude, you're the commander. What do
and,
you want to
and
do?
like a living celebrity
You're
to the
actually
galactics.
the
Like they have
living
been like
celebrity.
they're
You're the
eating like
guy.
galactic like rainbow popcorn and watching all of us as
You're
this
like,
is going. They have
what would
all of
you?
these little like secret TV.
Yeah,
I've seen them, and they're like these
you
little
know.
light monitors, and they're like looking, and I look around. Sometimes like I'll be walking my dog at the park, and there's all these little light monitors. I'm just looking at, and then I'm tuning in, and it's like a galactic TV.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
We're like
for
on a
sure.
reality TV
Hey,
show.
no, listen, it's gonna be weird. Look, let's give everyone a flash forward to make you guys. Have you guys ever seen that movie Divergent? Remember, like Divergent, and they're like, I'm Divergent.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
You're
yeah,
like the
yeah,
different. Okay, remember when they go like in I don't know Divergent Part Two, where they go to the city
yeah,
and and basically everyone in the city has been watching them their whole life.
yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't
That's
even
it.
know where these cameras are, ladies and gentlemen. But when I saw the brother get in the
They're
holographic,
they're hover cameras. They just
listen, they're
hover.
watching you in the shower. Okay, they're seeing all the inappropriate things, and it's
You know
being
what?
broadcast live.
I have been in the bath a
Okay?
lot of times, and I'm calm, and all of a sudden, guides are showing up like it's no thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Allegiant. Yeah, Allegiant. So what I'm trying to say is that I think we are well known in this universe. I don't. So when you guys feel like you're alone and oh no, I'm all alone in my cabin in the woods. Listen, I feel that we are not only monitored 24/7, 365, but we actually are an inspiration for other species. How does this sound? How about all the other species that were conquered by some of these assholes that are still enslaved by some of these assholes? And imagine someone gets a news feed from Earth, right? Of
Yeah.
all of us like taking it back, bitches, like fucking you don't even know how riled all the other planets in the system may get just by watching us take back our planet. How does that sound? You might create a shockwave of rebellion across the entire multiverse by us taking this planet back. So I'm just trying to say, you guys got to realize how awesome you are, and I don't know what else to tell you. You really are the best of the best. We're gonna break. We're not just breaking out of this prison planet. We're gonna melt the walls of this place. I got to be real. I'm not here to we're not here to open the door and hold it open. I'm here to knock down the entire door and the wall it's attached to, and go. This will be good for a couple thousand years. So for some of us out there, you guys are literally the system busters of the universe, especially of this galaxy, especially of the system of Sol. Okay. So just start kind of thinking that to your head. We're doing this for every single conquered being in the entire universe. And if we can pull it off, because we will, it will give meaning and literally, you guys, this revolution, this rebellion, this light taken back its own, this is something that will be recorded for all time. And it's hard to put that in words while we're living through it.
And the
We're
benefits
literally,
you
you
get frequency wise, like one of my good friends recently, unfortunately, went to the other side, and I a lot's going on, and she was like one of the strongest warriors I knew, and I just asked the angels, can you give me a sign? And so I go outside, and the angels are sparkling around, so I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. But then they showed me her, and her most amazing light, like the reward for your frequency for being here, because Earth gets a special multiplier effect based on the density and the darkness and the veil and all these things that we have going against us consciously from the Father and the realm of the curators of creation. And they, so like if you're a Syrian being, for example, right, you might have to spend 1,000,000 years to advance as much consciously as one of us coming in to this 100-year cycle or whatever it is. So it's
right.
the rewards are amazing, but for those who are really going for it, it's like you're literally set for
Bro, this
eternity.
is the gold team. David, this is, I already told everyone, but here's the award ceremony. Like, I've seen it. Okay. There's like all of us in the golden robes. Imagine there's like hundreds of thousands of angels, right? And there's like a stage, right? Imagine you're in like a really futuristic upper dimensional city. I saw like white marble, like a walkway comes up. There's thousands and thousands, hundreds of thousands of golden energy angels and beings, right? And I saw all of us, the graduating class, dude. But I saw all of us, like the graduating class are the golden ones. Then I saw the people walking, and then please, it was like, please rise and be honored. And then I saw some of us walking on that like white marble like walkway, and we had rainbow sashes on. And it was like, these are the real, and like meet your command. It was like meet the real God squad. And it was like all of us with those golden robes with the rainbow sashes that you can only earn by doing what each and every one of you is doing right now. So I want to remind you guys of what awaits us when we come home successful. It's not like, hey, it's not a golf clap. It's not like, hey guys, way to go in the simulate. Listen, it's not like, hey guys. No, we're doing the things that it's taken thousands of years to figure out, and probably longer than that in this experiment. So
a long time. Yeah.
Long time, dude. And David, I'm ready for your rainbow sash. I see your flippy floppies. We're gonna be flip flopping, and I might do a little moonwalk. I don't know. I might go out there and do a little sideways moonwalk and be like, "What it is, people." I don't know. Some of you guys are great dancers, and I want to see it all. But I'm telling you, there's something else that comes with putting up with this. This is definitely a test. This is definitely, we are at work.
Well, they've created new realms for us as well, like in the ascended reality structure, that haven't been experienced before, just for us to experience. Like
David, keep talking. Tell us about our rewards, please, because you know what, we need to hear it. David, tell us of the rewards.
Okay, well, you can imagine how we experience joy and love in these simple things, right? And on the other side, they can do everything that we can do on earth, and experience that joy. Like one time Christ came, he says, "Hey, I want to show you something. We're in the Garden of Eden," it starts off with, and then he brings me to the snow mountain. He's snowboarding down. He goes, "We can do all the things you can do on earth," and he's having a great time. The snow's drifting, and he's just got his hands out, and he gets to the bottom, and then snaps his fingers. He's back at the top. He doesn't have to take the cart back at the top, doesn't have to wait in any lines. So there's no downsides, and that's what he's saying. We could do everything but on the other side, in ascended reality, there's at least 3 completely new realms of pleasure, of these new joy-filled experiences that have been created that nobody has experienced in all of eternity, and they've created it for us, because of how amazing we have done. And when on the other side of the ascension, we can experience these realms for the first time. It'd be like kids at the greatest theme park, like the new Universal Studios meets times a million, of pure fun that has never been experienced. And so when you think about how many trillions of lives that we've had, and how many experiences of joy and happiness and everything that we have experienced, to be able to experience higher ecstasy, higher joy, higher levels of love that we have never experienced for the first time new in 3 different realms, and we're the first to go in, it's pretty fantastic. Yeah.
Yo, that is the raddest thing I have heard in 15 years of me being awake. David, where have you been? Dang it. You know what I mean? I should have had a David on a hot wire. David, talk to me about these realms and what we get. You know what I mean? I'm like bloodied and dirty on the side of a mountain. I'm like, David, just talk to me about the realms that we get to experience. It would have made my life a lot easier. You know what I mean? I swear. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I wanted to share today. David, you just knocked that out of the park, my brother. Let's talk about the Rise of the Guardians that's coming up in May. I'm excited to have you, brother. I know you're going to be doing a lot of stuff with Bill Homan and the Crystal Skull. Tell me a little bit about, we kind of jumped right into the awesomeness, which is you, but you want to tell a little bit?
Man, this is really fun. And I love this. Just really enjoyed our conversation, because you can't have this conversation unless you're really on the front lines and doing all these things and experiencing it and like going through that and transcending it and getting on the other side just to have to transcend something else. And so it's amazing that it was able to have that conversation. So really excited for the Rise of the Guardians. Just really
Mhm.
grateful that you're inviting me out there to speak and spend some
Yes.
time out there. I've met the Crystal Skull, and I've known Bill for some time, and we did a retreat together recently in Mount Shasta with the skull. And wow, the first time I touched the skull, the first time I met the skull in person,
Mhm.
and I touched the skull. And when I look at it, and I know the skull, I've been working with the skull for a long, so I have a very deep relationship with the skull. First, I didn't trust it. I'll be frankly honest, I only trusted the rounds and the light. But then after some time, my guides were working through the crystal, and they're doing the same things inside of the skull as they're doing in the higher realms, and they're showing me everything is perfect and copacetic, and we're actually using the knowledge of the crystal that it contains with
Mhm.
you for these experiences. So then I realized, okay, this crystal skull is a master Akashic record keeper of many realms, and
Mhm.
it has all of these records and knowledges of what we can use to benefit the consciousness of Earth. So then I completely opened up to the skull. So the first time then, so years go by. The first time I meet the skulls in Mount Shasta in this year, in May 2025.
Oh,
And
nice.
yeah, and we did a documentary on it as well. But the first time I look at it and I touch it, it connects. First, it's so happy to meet me in person. But secondly, it starts showing me all of these new things about its origin from beyond Earth and all these different realms that it's been in. And it started telling me things that I didn't even connect to before, about prime realm creators and how all of these realms have an eternal being who is like the father god of that realm that created the realm, and each realm has a prime realm creator who doesn't die and oversees the entire realm. So Lemuria would have one, Earth would have one, all these different dimensions would have a prime realm creator, and it started showing me all these things. And then while we were there and working with the skull, it was connecting us into Telos and the inner earth there, and the prime realm creators of that realm within
Mhm.
the inner earth. And they started giving us this new, like, it was a new earth star chakra. It was like, so that we can constantly be grounding in to then this realm of crystalline consciousness and bring that through the collective consciousness and everything. And so this skull is beyond incredible. I mean, they discovered it in Lab and Tune. I think it was Mitchell Hedges around 19, I want to say 24, 29. It was one of those days, and it was sitting at the top of this temple, this pyramid, when they unearthed it in this special area, almost like a shrine room in the pyramid. And then the skull is just shining, and it was like the mains, like God or something like that. But what really it was is a technology that was meant to be preserved for the time of the ascension on Earth, and the Mayans kept it there because they knew one day it would be discovered and it'd be passed along to the custodial guardian, which is
Mhm.
Bill Holman. And it's Bill is going to be at the retreat in Sedona,
Yes.
May 8th. And I'm going to be sharing an area with him. I'm not sure if we're going to do group
I,
sessions.
I guess I'll talk about it. So not only are you and Bill going to be in the panels on Sunday, but you guys are also going to be for the VIPs. You guys are going to have a private session with obviously David Starr and Bill Homan. We have a private room set up for all you guys. Now there's also retreats going on. We have the Way of Being Foundation on Monday, which is free to everyone to come out and hang out. And but we are going to have retreats being set up right now. David, Zach Fisher, and Sue, and Emily and Isa. There's going to be like retreats that are following the end of the conference. So if you guys are coming out and you guys are planning on being there, I would say fly in on Thursday. You can fly in Friday morning, fine. But Friday we have a meet and greet. Saturday conference all day. Then we got a red carpet step and repeat. Galaxy Ball fires off Saturday night. Sunday, we have panels and group sessions all day long. And then Monday, we have the Way of Being Foundation, the Day of Being. So, no, this is going to be one for the record books, ladies and gentlemen. And David, I got to be honest with you, bro. I'm blown away in the most rad way about you today. I got to be honest. Like, it was a wise decision having you here, bro. Like, I had no idea you have that depth. And you should also tell the public about what you created, the DivineRay, and how they can get that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the social media right now, it's making it hard for people to be seen, and there's a lot more of these different ads and these different things. But essentially, DivineRay was given to me in May 2020, but in 3 dreams on the same night, and I would get woken up, and these angels would be talking to me about, first they'd show me people are tuning in their divine rhythm and sharing it around to each other, and then they showed me it's like it had the social media feel, and this light was spreading around the planet. And then finally the third dream, they say, and it's called DivineRay, and this gold light, this lettering came across the sky as the sun was rising, and these people were sitting on this hill. And then when they woke me up from that dream, they said, well, so will you do it? And I'm just like, oh yeah. And I actually took my entire life savings twice and put it into it, along with having some investors and stuff, because it to make a social media, it's so hard, but it's beautiful because it takes combination of like things like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook that we do like, the things that we do like, and without the targeting ads, and all higher consciousness, all to have this elevated experience of social media that is fluid in energy, not disruptive. And so you get this breathing room. And so DivineRay, it's free to download. If you want these extra features, like you're like a creator, I have a small membership that just helps us sustain ourselves. And it's a great place, like a sanctuary for the awakened community. And I feel that it's sovereign. And I mean, I'm the founder of it, and I will never allow anybody to buy it. It's not for sale. DivineRay is not for sale, and I will never allow anyone's information to be bought or sold. And I'm never going to be targeting people with these like advertisers coming in and just like this. So that's what it is, and it's pretty cool.
Hey, congratulations on that. That is a huge undertaking. You know, small golf clap for Mr. Starr creating the DivineRay app, available on Apple and Android. Listen, this is all I get. I've done activations and I got home and they gave me one of these. So listen, congratulations. Hey, listen, they're jackasses. You know how the angelics are. They're like, way to go. But the DivineRay, and ladies and gents out there, if you guys do have the TeamLight app, I will be adding the DivineRay app, so you guys can click on that link and go directly to download David's DivineRay. I think in this day and age, it's time for all of us light workers and light warriors to get together. And I know, unfortunately, with some of these platforms, you know, that are highly, you know, monitored, mind you, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you know, it's nice to actually have a new location for us to put our content and, you know, and put our minds together. So David, thank you so much for creating that for us.
Yeah, it's great, man, because we've done all of this work energetically to make the energies right, and now we can tackle the world, you know what I mean, and come together, get the media right, get the social media right, and then we gotta, get all the money in the world so we could, because nobody.
David, you're not going to believe this. As I said that, they cut the feed on my Facebook. Literally.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, as I said that, it goes, warning, like your Facebook has been removed. So I'm like, yeah, get your shit off of the social media platforms. They monitor us. And it was like, boom.
Yeah.
Listen, Zuckerbucker, you're going to get it from a tiger shark, buddy. He's going to get you right when you're surfing. You're going to be surfing out there. You think you got the whole world in front of you, and a tiger shark is going to come for you. No, cancel culture. I'm just kidding. But, the universe works in mysterious ways. That's all I can say. Ladies and gentlemen, I love you guys. Thank you so much. Check out TeamLightStore.com. We have huge sales going on right now. We have new swag. We got new hoodies and stuff we're going to be ordering. Take advantage of all the sales, for Christmas, and obviously get your tickets for the Rise of the Guardians at TeamLightStore.com. And David, where can our audience find all your stuff?
Well, you can go to davidstarunlimited.com, and I have everything that I'm doing there. Everything.
Beautiful. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, more to come. David's been an absolute pleasure. All right.
Yeah, it's been great. Thanks for having me. Thanks for everybody for watching, and thank you for all you do. And you're all so amazing.
My brother, my family. Till next time. Peace.